Only 7 pounds at birth, Shaquille O'Neal has grown into a 7'1", 305-pound NBA giant, and he celebrates his 22nd birthday today. His rival, MVP candidate, the Spurs, David Robinson, the Admiral, the league's leading scorer, enjoying his most complete season. Today, he has an attitude. No one's throwing a party in Mr. Robinson's neighborhood, especially Shaq, a San Antonio product. But the birthday man claims territorial rights.
San Antonio was my neighborhood first. This is my day. Happy birthday to me.
You want to hear myself? There we go. 34,000 at the Alamo Dome. That's hard to say. Alamo Dome to see Shaquille O'Neal, former high school hero in this city, and he goes against a man having a super season, the Admiral.
He's going against David Robinson, and David Robinson is having an MVP-type season, and he dominated the matchup between O'Neal and himself, and San Antonio has won all 3 games, and this is Mr. Robinson's neighborhood, so look for another dominant effort this afternoon.
But it's Shaq's birthday. Let's see if he lights up the candles. Oh, all right, so you'll go there. There are only 6 points separate them as they go for the NBA scoring crown. Shaquille O'Neal and David Robinson, a pair of 7'1" centers. And the Magic in black will get it started. Penny Hardaway, Del Negro picks him up. It's Dennis Scott with the first shot as he goes over Dale Ellis. That'll be an interesting matchup throughout. 2 excellent three-point shooters. Ellis to Del Negro. Inside to Robinson. His first move is the hook over Shaq, way off. Avant with a rebound, and Hardaway brings it in.
Dick, as we watch the Orlando Magic, the one thing that they want to do is try to establish Shaquille O'Neal early and try to get his game off and then work to the shooters on the outside. He misses his first opportunity.
Yeah, both big men well off on their first attempt. J.R. Reid, former North Carolina star, ties it at 2.
This is a mismatch for Penny Hardaway, but it's taken away by David Robinson.
Robinson is averaging 3.4 blocks a game. Anderson can't hit. Robinson with a rebound over O'Neal. The Admiral gets the first bucket. 4-2 to the home team, Spurs. Dennis Scott partially blocked by Robinson. O'Neal has it taken away by Willie Anderson. Anderson foul.
Whenever a player gets beat defensively, you're looking for that last line of defense, and David Robinson is a huge force challenging Dennis Scott. That one comes up short, but there's Shaquille O'Neal to mop up, picks up the foul.
O'Neal, fans not that kind to a man who, as a high schooler here in San Antonio, did so very well. State championship, and not very healthy at the line this year at 52%. But O'Neal perfect on those 2, and it's tied at 4. Shaq's first too little presence here in San Antonio.
Ellis and Scott, 2 great catch-and-shoot guys, and they're matched up against each other, and they both have to stick it well this afternoon to take pressure off the inside players, O'Neal and Robinson.
Inside to Shaq. Pulls his way against Robinson and slams it home. 4 points for Shaq. You think he didn't want to play big today?
Shaquille O'Neal just powers his way into David Robinson, and once he gets him off his feet, they say he should learn something other than that, but that's the best shot in the book.
You bet. Straight down. Robinson trying to get in front of O'Neal, failed, and then the missed shot and foul by J.R. Reid, who tried to come over on the help. So Shaq O'Neal back to the line.
David Robinson gambled. You never want to gamble down on the post, and Robinson goes out in front, and that leaves Shaq too much room, too much power, and they pick up the foul, but he misses the first attempt.
Numbers for O'Neal's. who's now 3 for 4 from the line. And San Antonio's lead whittled to 1. Robinson using his speed to get around Shaq, and the reach-in foul by O'Neal. David Robinson, unlike O'Neal, a solid free throw shooter, hitting 3 out of 4 on the year, around 75%.
That's going to be the concern for Brian Hill and Shaquille O'Neal, staying out of foul trouble against the quicker, more mobile David Robinson.
Who hits them both. Hardaway to Shaq for an easy 2, and O'Neal has 7. They're feeding Shaq a steady diet. Rebound J.R. Reed. Ellis for 3. Dale Ellis sends San Antonio on top by 1. Dennis Scott, another 3 for him, 2 in a row, and Scott with 8 points to lead all scorers. Robinson on the give and go to Vinny Del Negro. It's tied at 15. The pace early going here in San Antonio, red hot.
The offensive execution has been very clean for both teams to this point. Turnover.
Willie Anderson made the play. Dale Ellis at the other end. 7 for Ellis. San Antonio back in the lead. Del Negro has it deflected by Hardaway, and Hardaway with a great save to Shaq O'Neal. Look at the big men go. Oh my! Robinson and Shaq O'Neal in a foot race, and the 22-year-old lights it up for 9. 9 points for O'Neal. The game is tied.
Look at O'Neal. He's salivating right there. The tongue goes out a la Jordan, and he carries it home under the pressure of David Robinson chasing. But they got a two-man game going between Anthony Hardaway and Shaquille O'Neal, and Hardaway seems to be intent on giving Shaquille O'Neal a big afternoon. He's giving him chances in pick and rolls and every opportunity to score the ball, and to this first quarter of play, O'Neal has been brilliant.
Shaq O'Neal just 6 points behind David Robinson for the scoring lead in the NBA.
And O'Neal will come out for an early breather, and Tree Rollins comes in.
We should mention as they go on defense, the Magic, Dennis Scott playing with a very heavy heart. He will leave for the funeral of his father, shot and killed in Washington, D.C. on Thursday. He elected to play these last 2 games. David Robinson, he has 6. Robinson against the veteran Tree Rollins scores, and he is fouled. And with that, a timeout. Robinson will be at the line when we return. 2:47 left in the first quarter. The battle between the Admiral and the birthday man continues. Hardaway, he and Nick Anderson in the backcourt, averaging about 15.5 a game. Into Shaq O'Neal, power move. And O'Neal is off to a great start with 13 to lead all scores.
Those that say he doesn't have anything but a dunk, he has shown them the entire arsenal this afternoon as Ellis finds David Robinson over the top.
In your face for the Admiral. He has 11. So the 2 centers leading their teams, 11 for Robinson, 13 for Shaq. They're just within a handful of points separating them for the scoring lead in the NBA. Scott has hit 3 already. 4 3-pointers in the opening quarter for this young man who's been highs and lows this week with the emotions, trying to forget about his father's death, and basketball being that escape. No basket, the whistle before the drive by Robinson.
David Robinson says, I'm right in the middle. I'm not too old. I'm not young enough yet, and I still got a lot of mileage in him. But the quickness has been his big weapon against Shaquille O'Neal. Jump shot, David.
You got to respect that ability to hit the jump shot. Rebound, Tree Rollins. More than half of his total right there in that little shot and putback. Shaq, goaltending. Antoine Carr said, you didn't give me a piece of the cake. So Shaq O'Neal. And while the fans love him, at the same time his opponent don't like him, as they've shown some boos, they have to admire the 15 points. He is off. Well, he said he wants to score 60 someday on target.
My father and I, he didn't call me son, and then after I got to college, I didn't call him dad anymore. I always called him boss. So every time he would call me, he would say, "What's up, little boss?" And I'd say, "What's up, big boss?" Then every now and then I'd call him Pops. So on my left shoe, I put Pops, and on my right shoe, I put boss. Remember for him, and no matter if I ever play basketball ever again, I've always have it on my shoes. If it's street ball, if it's summer league, or whatever it is, I'm always going to have it on my shoes in memory of him.
So there it is, Pops on the left and Big Boss on the right, in memory of his father, who was shot twice and killed Thursday in Washington, D.C.
And he is trying to put on a big effort this afternoon for Big Boss, and he's off to a terrific start. Speaking of the 60 points, he's right behind. Orlando Magic, and the game should slow down now because Scott Skiles is in the game. He's more of a half-court player. They don't push and run quite as much. Nick Anderson.
Boy, he continues the red-hot shooting of the Orlando Magic, rarely missing. Anderson with 7.
Now they have the advantage at this end with David Robinson against Tree Rollins. We saw Robinson go right to work as soon as Rollins was on him inside the first time, this time over the top.
Robinson with 13, 2 less than Shaq, and Dennis Scott short on that one. A rear miss. Robinson at the other end. Skiles tries to stop him. Scott doesn't either, and a slam by Robinson. He has 15. Del Negro to Robinson, jams into Skiles, scores, and a foul. It counts. So with Shaq O'Neal on the sidelines, Robinson getting some quick points. Skiles with a foul.
A quick way to make gravy is to be ahead of the pack. Scott blocks it the first time, and David Robinson gets it, throws it down with 2 hands, and squeezes in between 2 Orlando defenders. Scott Skiles picks up the foul. Robinson gets a 3-point play. Antoine Carr will have the assignment of defending Shaquille O'Neal at the other end. You got to look for the Magic to come inside, but right now it's Dennis Scott who has missed only 1 shot this afternoon, getting that score.
16 points for Dennis Scott. Here you are. Rebound Scott. They break out the Magic 4-on-2. Skiles to Nick Anderson. Fans wanted a charge on Anderson.
Fist, whenever you see Fist, that's a play for Shaquille O'Neal, dropping it inside, and we'll see if O'Neal can get a chance to use his power against Carr. They double him up.
Skiles for 3, and he's in the book. Boy, they're really nailing the trails. Magic. 6 points for Skiles.
And 7 already. If you count them, Scott has 4, Skiles has 2, Nick Anderson has 1.
And a 7-point lead for the Magic. Antoine Carr working against Shaq. They double team him. Loose ball. Shaq to Skiles. Fans wanted a whistle. Good run here for the Orlando Magic. Inside, it's Shaq O'Neal.
If he continues to shoot the ball well from the perimeter.
The Magic by 5. Shaq over the Admiral to score his 19th.
You can see where Shaq is getting his advantage. He is leading with his shoulder and his power. That's getting him the separation. If we can withstand the run, because they're not going to shoot that ball consistently that well from the outside the entire afternoon, blocked by Scott, they'll be able to get back in the game.
And Scott helping out Shaq O'Neal, and David Robinson, who rarely shows emotion, thought he should have had a foul call. The timeout at the 2:55 mark. Robinson has it batted away for a moment. Krzysztofiak with a deflection to Hardaway. 3-on-1. And the rookie takes it in, can't score. Krzysztofiak blocked by Robinson. His third. Out to Rodman. Magic had a chance to go up in double figures with a lead. They're up by 9 now.
Hardaway has not been able to get into the game offensively, but he's been very active at the defensive end and looking to try to drop back in on David Robinson to keep the ball out of his hand.
Willie Anderson. Shaq O'Neal with a rebound against Rodman.
Willie Anderson trying to be in two places at one time, shooting and passing the ball. Left that one short. He had his eye on Shaquille O'Neal, and if he really was going to shoot, he should have concentrated on the shot.
With 2 minutes to go, a reach-in foul on Willie Anderson, his second.
The shooting of the Orlando Magic has been the difference here in the quarter. They're 10 of 15, and they've been able to have great spacing out on the court because that perimeter shot is going in. That's giving Shaquille O'Neal room to work inside.
Krzysztofiak rejected. Robinson has 4 blocks. Admiral with 194 on the year.
David Robinson has been able to give help off the basketball and deny them the scoring opportunity. The Magic now working against the shot clock at 7.
Robinson comes out to Hawk Hardaway, and there's the steal by Dale Ellis. In case you're wondering, Robinson's third in the league in blocks behind Mutombo and Elijah Warren.
Where San Antonio gets in the most trouble is they don't really have a point guard out there on the floor. Willie Anderson and Dale Ellis playing in the back court. And so it's difficult for them to get things set up. Anderson's got to go against the shot clock.
Pick and roll, and it worked beautifully as Anderson sets up David Robinson, who has 20 as he leads all scorers, one more than Shaq. It's going to be a battle right to the end. These two men are very proud. They won't admit to it, but each one desperately would love to be the scoring champion. Of course, they want to show well against another. And there's Robinson with a steal. J.R. Reed and a foul. Krzysztofiak got him. First foul on Krzysztofiak.
This Robinson effort off the floor against the shot clock to get it down with 2 on the clock, and then David Robinson stepped around, made a steal at the other end of the floor against the offense of Shaquille O'Neal, and that got him started.
It's Hardaway with 40 seconds to go, and Robinson has a nickel. He's got 5 blocks in this opening half. And that's how quadruple doubles get going.
Hardaway trying to get into it offensively, but not aware of David Robinson. And Robinson has been active and aware of anybody coming inside when O'Neal hasn't had the ball.
Hardaway beats the clock but doesn't connect, and Rodman with a rebound ahead to Reed. Dale Ellis, final seconds. Rodman all alone. So that 9-point lead is carved to 4 here in the final seconds. 6 points for Rodman. Big half scoring for Dennis Rodman.
And Brian Hill was on the side, and he's saying open, open, open. Since Scott and Anderson went out, they haven't been as good from the perimeter. They've closed down the middle. O'Neal trying to power his way in.
At the final buzzer of this half. So O'Neal just beat the buzzer. Foul by Rodman, and Shaq gets the final word, at least in the opening half, and will be at the line for the 3-point play.
Stuck a fork in it, just pinned it down there with his hand and got control of it and said, and one. And that's what we'll finish the first half on. Powerful effort by O'Neal with Rodman on his arm.
0.3 of a second. They put back 0.3 of a second as O'Neal goes for his 22nd point of the half. That is as many as he scored in a game against San Antonio. In the 3 previous games, he never scored more than 21. So he in a half has outdone himself. And there is the official final buzzer. Shaq O'Neal, the man-child on his 22nd birthday, back where he played championship high school basketball. San Antonio leading the Orlando Magic to a 7-point lead at the half.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, baby.
Happy birthday to you.
San Antonio was my neighborhood first. This is my day. Happy birthday to me.
He said before he's got a $1 million and a $2 million and a $3 million smile. I think that was a $3 million plus smile, and he should be happy because as we look at our Miller Genuine Draft halftime statistics, it is Shaq with 22 points, 8 for 11 field goal shooting, and both teams shooting well over 50%. And one of the reasons for the Orlando Magic is the outside shooting of Dennis Scott, 4 for 4 from three-point range in 16. And here's one man very happy and one man very unhappy, and both very productive in the first half. David Robinson, meanwhile, 20 points, 5 blocks to lead the San Antonio Spurs. And we understand Hannah Storm is with the head coach of the Spurs.
2, 1. Thanks, Dick. Coach, Shaquille O'Neal has been able to establish his inside game. It's left their shooters open. You've already given up 7 3-pointers. What sort of defensive adjustments do you make in the second half?
Well, first of all, David's going to have to get him up off the box and get him deeper because they're really hitting their shots when we're coming in to double. We're going to have to mix it up, and they're going to have to make some more outside shots. You know, they really shot a lot of shots from the outside. We'll just build. I'm comfortable where we are right now. You know, the way they're shooting the ball, I don't think and hope that they don't shoot like that for the rest of the game. And if we can continue to attack and get our running game going, we'll be just fine.
Is David playing Shaq differently than he has in the past?
He's playing him all right. He's not playing him any differently. I think when he picked up the cheap foul, it kind of backed him up a little bit. And the way Shaquille came out, and really especially making his free throws tonight, kind of backed all of us up for a minute.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
All right.
Dick?
John Lucas in his first full season with San Antonio saying what you did, Snapper, that he doesn't think the Magic can continue to shoot at that hot a pace. 61-54 at the break. Second half coming up. Dick Enberg, Snapper Jones, Hannah Storm, welcome back. Ready for the second half and a look at the leading scorers in the first half. For Orlando, Shaq with a big 22 and Scott 4 for 4 from Treyland has 16. Nick Anderson 9. Skiles with 6. David Robinson 20. Willie Anderson with 10. Ellis 9. Rodman 6. And if it weren't for Penny Hardaway, who went 0 for 6, the Orlando Magic would be shooting 69%.
Well, with 3 fouls, you got to come inside to O'Neal and see if he can get a fourth and get David Robinson down. That time he had him further out on the block, but he was able to rebound his own miss. Timeout. He wants a timeout. He fell down, but he's not going to get it.
He's holding his left wrist, and Del Negro scores at the other end. So now the officials will give Orlando a 20-second timeout. Holding his left wrist was Shaquille O'Neal. Let's see what happens.
O'Neal was bodied out a little bit further, missed the first. Now he's coming back in to get the second, and right here he's losing his balance. And I think when he reached back to catch himself, that's when the injury occurred. He had enough presence to at least try to call timeout, but you can't call timeout if you don't have the basketball. And right there, as he's going down, he tries to catch himself. It's a lot of weight to catch.
Yeah, that natural instinct, like slipping on the ice, you put a hand down, and that's where a lot of those wrist and forearm injuries, hand injuries occur. So Tree Rollins will come in for Orlando. Perhaps got a different look here.
One more look, and you can see that hand go down, and then immediately he's in pain, and they are taking him out of the ball game, and they are talking to Shaquille to find out exactly how he feels.
He's had some troubles. It was the knee last week against Charlotte, banging knee on knee. Dennis Scott from long range, and he is 5 for 5, hitting the home runs. Oh, they're going to call that a 2. I guess he had a toe on the line, looking as if he was outside.
Well, Scott is a jump shooter, and he has gone back to his bread and butter, and it's paid off big time. David Robinson
not there, and Avent can't get the rebound, so Del Negro with a second chance and a third. 9-point lead for Orlando. Del Negro is the third time the charm. Yes, 65-58.
Well, nothing's wrong with Shaq's wrist, Dick, as he was trying to break his fall just now. He actually bruised the palm of his left hand. He's not icing it, he's just flexing it, trying to get ready to get back in the game. Dick?
All right, that's good news for certainly all of Orlando and all the NBA. Their premier players. Hardaway finally hits a field goal, his first points. 1 for 7 from the floor. Hardaway was second to Shaq in scoring for the Magic this year.
This is where they won David Robinson against Tree Rollins. He's been able to do whatever he wants.
And he hits from outside the 17-footer. Robinson with 22. Shaq with 24. Nick Anderson inside to Avon. Robinson comes over to help out. Tree Rollins outside.
David Robinson can roam because Tree Rollins is no threat, and he's now out on the perimeter. Hardaway trying to get by.
Blocked by Robinson, his 6th.
Robinson said you're going to have to come with something better than that, Penny.
Del Negro left in the corner. And Vinny Del Negro cuts the Orlando lead to 3. He ought to be making the records, not Shaq, someone said.
Well, me no singing on this because this boy Penny's got the blues. As David Robinson blocked that one, and you see Vinny Del Negro is the hero so far of the quarter. 8 quick points.
Into O'Neal. Nice move to draw the 4th foul. And that was terrific stuff in the eyes of Brian Hill, the head coach of the Magic. That little shuffle step, little hesitation, and Robinson bites.
All of this has happened because O'Neal has been making jump hooks and little jump shots, and David Robinson tried to get into him. So the cheap foul really hurts him. Now John Lucas has a tough decision. How long can I go with David Robinson, 4th personal, 3rd team, because he needs David Robinson out on the floor to try to neutralize O'Neal.
Well, Shaq has even been tough at the free throw line. He's 7 for 8 today. Shaquille, in the holy book of Islam, the Quran, means little one. And if ever there was a contradiction, religious or not, it's this man at 7'1", 305 pounds. He was a little one at birth. Just 7 pounds at birth was Shaquille.
David Robinson goes out, and Dennis Rodman will come in. Now, Rodman will undoubtedly draw the assignment of trying to guard Shaquille O'Neal. O'Neal says he won't guard me by himself. So we'll find out exactly what the defensive scheme for John Lucas is.
Rebound Hardaway. On top of everything else, he's averaging over 5 rebounds a game as the guard Hardaway. O'Neal behind J.R. Reed, and a perfect lob pass from Scott. 27 for Shaq.
They've got to have more pressure on Hardaway so that he can't find that spot. O'Neal with a beautiful catch and drop.
O'Neal with the rebound. Sets off Nick Anderson. Back to Shaq. Ryan Hill says, slow it down now. Get a good shot out of this.
Well, you got to think if you're the Magic, you come inside to Shaquille O'Neal and make the defense react.
Nick Anderson, he took a look at Shaq, 2 men on him, and saw the open alley. 11 for Nick. Gets back to a 7-point lead for Orlando.
What John Lucas needs now is some offense so that they don't get too big a separation on the scoreboard. Dale Ellis has been the guy that's been left out.
Misses again. He hasn't had any points since the first quarter.
Again, now they got Shaquille down low. This time it's Rodman all over him.
Anderson. Avon. Hardaway with a driving move on that rebound, unable to score. Ellis at the other end for 2. And a push and shove between J.R. Reed and Nick Anderson, and it'll go against Nick Anderson. His first.
You see Shaquille O'Neal posting up down low. He's able to get good position and then spin away from J.R. Reed. Telling you, he's got the whole package. These guys that said this guy hasn't been working on his game, I guess they haven't been watching him.
And the quick feet, a 305-pound man that had that kind of quickness. What a first step. And a good birthday so far for Shaquille O'Neal. Del Negro for three. It rattles out, and the home team is cold. Hardaway on a breakaway.
Inside to Shaq, and they're going to make Rodman and San Antonio adjust. That's a good miss for Krzysztofiak with a foul.
Krzysztofiak able to get the score, and Rodman in anger slams the ball on the court. And a warning delay of game against Rodman. Whoa! That won't bring any favor from the officials. That'll bring you that one right there. Technical foul. Mike Mathis had to call that.
You can see the struggle is at the offensive end. They've got to find a way to get inside and get something cheap.
Everyone has missed. Robinson moves it inside, misses his own easy follow, and it's 10 in a row that have failed to drop for San Antonio. John Lucas thought that it would be Orlando that would go into the icy period, but it's been his own team. 4 fouls on David Robinson. Hardaway sets up O'Neal. Oh my! And then lets the crowd know I'm here. Well, this is the action with Robinson unable to slap home his own rebound.
You can see on the other end there is too much room and daylight, and Shaquille O'Neal tells everybody in the front row that's 2 more. Now, as long as David Robinson's being guarded by Krzysztofiak, they're going to have to come to David.
He uses that speed to set up Antoine Carr. Carr, who has just returned from a serious foot injury, he's played in only 16 games this year. His first points. Bowie. Rebound Robinson. 7 rebounds for Robinson. Krzysztofiak on the Admiral.
The big dog is inside and he can score it, and he's got the ability to rock and roll and drop it off, and he does that against Shaquille O'Neal. Back-to-back weeks for Antoine Carr.
10-year veteran from Wichita State on an assist from Robinson.
Now you're talking about beef. There's a lot of it right there between Carr and O'Neal, and they call an offensive foul against Shaquille O'Neal.
Well, Carr doing his job. That's the 3rd foul on Shaq.
Where's the beef? Look at this. They are locked up, and O'Neal will come in, and he's been able to do this against David Robinson. Get away, lean in.
Krzysztofiak on the Admiral. Shows his shooting touch. He now has 24. 10-point lead. Orlando up by as much as 16 here in the 3rd.
This is the pressure that John Lucas wanted earlier in the period, and now they let Hardaway hold up. And in this situation, you shouldn't back up and give ground and let the offensive player come to you.
And Penny Hardaway with a very cold game, but he hits a big one right at the end of the period. 1.3 seconds left. Robinson just turns and throws, and that is the 3rd quarter. Not a very good one for the San Antonio Spurs, as Shaquille O'Neal and David Robinson quiet in the points column, but the key was the fact that Robinson picked up 2 quick fouls to start the half, sat out with 4, and had to play a different game. It's Orlando by 12. There are their images, and well, Shaq on defense is bigger than life in his play today. Total points for the entire year, and Robinson leads by 1, both averaging just under 29 a game. Looking for Shaq against the veteran Antoine Carr. And Robinson is fouled as Krzysztofiak reaches in and gets his 4th. Gets the worst of it in both regards.
Notice that he had to actually shoot this basketball this time. Carr had him far enough off on the box where he had to come up with a jump shot. He left it short, and that's where they got the foul. Trying to get Dale Ellis off.
Carr with a hook shot rebound, O'Neal. He has 7 rebounds, 2 less than Robinson. 12-point lead for the Orlando Magic. Stolen by David Robinson. The veteran Sleepy Floyd. Robinson. Well, he's become a terrific outside shooter. 10-point game, 26 for the Admiral. Antoine Carr drawing Shaq out and hits the jumper. So his presence has been important for San Antonio. Carr was 6.
His return makes life easier for John Lucas because if Reed isn't going well, he can go to Antoine Carr, and Carr is delivering this afternoon. Turnover.
Styles palming the ball.
That's twice today we've seen that call, which is rare. Hey, these guys better figure it out. Mike Mathis likes to call that particular play. Now this puts a lot of pressure on O'Neal to deliver the goods.
Acrobatic pass to Skiles, back to Bowie with 6. And the runner over Robinson for Anthony Bowie. Boy, he comes in and contributes right away. Robinson at the other end. And a foul on Royal.
David Robinson ahead of the pack again, and Royal is going to say where. He thought that's a mystery foul. He was trying to make a play on the ball, just nicked him on the elbow. Now David Robinson, a 3-point play.
Robinson cuts the lead to 5 with his 29th point, 29. Shaq has 30.
Notice that the defense of San Antonio has really gotten energized with some offensive effort by Carr, Ellis, and Robinson.
Awfully missed by Shaq O'Neal. Willie Anderson. The lead is down to 3. Orlando once in front by 16. Timeout Magic.
Either Carr or David Robinson. Now they come back looking at Shaquille O'Neal.
And Carr playing good defense on Shaq. Gets the rebound. Floyd hurries it into the offensive end. Less than 8 minutes to go. San Antonio tough to beat at home. They've won 15 of their last 16 games. Rebound Bowie. And Carr fouls him. And Bowie fouls the official, Joe Forte.
Antoine Carr has been able to get into him, and you need a big body to handle the strength and the weight of O'Neal, and he's forcing him just a little bit further out and under pressure. San Antonio cannot afford to see another foul thrown against them without Orlando going to the line.
Shaq partially deflected, and it goes against Orlando. The foul on O'Neal, his fourth. Antoine Carr making things happen for San Antonio.
This was a good penetrating play between Hardaway and O'Neal. O'Neal did not get it where he wanted on the glass, tried to chase it, came over the top of David Robinson. Now San Antonio has to come back with either David Robinson or Antoine Carr.
Both Robinson and Shaq with 4 fouls. Anderson with a tough leaner. Robinson keeps it alive. So he's in double figures now in rebounds. Almost ties it up at 89.
Rogerson's been trying to get into the game. He's been running up there to Lucas, and Lucas sent him back.
Well, Antoine Carr's been too good. Nick Anderson over Floyd, and Orlando reclaims a 2-point advantage. 6:38 to go. Earlier today here on NBC, you saw Cleveland defeat Chicago by 4, 99-95. Underneath, Dale Ellis all alone, lost his man. It's tied at 91. Ellis with 18.
Ellis has been the offensive hero, and the defensive guys have been Carr and Sleepy Floyd. They get a foul against Antoine Carr here. This will put Shaquille O'Neal on the line.
Third on Carr.
You see Dale Ellis is true with that 3-point field goal, and David Robinson, it's a tray all the way.
It's been a terrific matchup of these brilliant centers, Shaquille O'Neal and David Robinson, and two teams battling toward the playoffs. San Antonio feeling that you can't count them out for a possible home court advantage throughout there. That's their aim. O'Neal much better than his average today from the line, and he hits a deuce. 93-91. Shaq with 32 to lead all scorers.
Nick Anderson back with some pressure against Willie Anderson, and that will change the presence of things for Orlando. Orlando has really allowed them to move the ball and move people where they want, and now they're really trying to put some pressure on 10 on the shot clock.
Lucas, All-America, Maryland. Brian Hill went to Little Kennedy College in Wahoo, Nebraska. Floyd almost pulled that pivot foot. Carr, and he drew the foul. Hardaway reaching in. Oh, it's going to be Shaq O'Neal, and that'll be his 5th foul, and the fans love that. Meanwhile, Dennis Rodman returns for San Antonio.
We get another look at it. You see him get just a piece of the arm on the way up.
Shaq O'Neal still on the bench. Tree Rollins in the post for Orlando.
They want the ball in David Robinson's hand. They want to make the defense react. They double David.
Boy, a tough shot against his body, falling out of bounds. 31 for David Robinson. 32 for Shaq. A new game with 4:20 to go. Anderson against Rodman.
See, now that they don't have the ability to drop the ball in, they've got to try to make something happen off the dribble, and a tough shot by Nick Anderson. O'Neal is back in the game against Antoine Carr.
Too far under the basket, and Robinson comes up with the ball. San Antonio hasn't had the lead often in the game. They do with 2:25 to go. Last time they led was at 41-40 in the second quarter.
O'Neal is now guarding David Robinson. Robinson's got to think about getting to the free throw line, and he gives up his dribble.
Carr from Robinson way off the mark. The shot was so bad that it carried right to Ellis. A 3-point lead. 2 minutes to go.
Two-man game. They're trying to set it up between Hardaway and O'Neal.
Dennis Scott with a tough inside shot. 101-100. San Antonio with 1:40 to go. Hardaway almost with a steal. Rodman, big smile on his face as he nods. Here we go. It's Robinson. David Robinson and a foul. Look at Rodman. The odd couple, Rodman and Robinson, but it's working in San Antonio.
David Robinson went to his right that time and surprised Krystkowiak, threw it down with two hands, and Rodman was there at the finish with the tackle. Maybe it was a hug.
They do like each other. 104-100. Turned over. Sleepy Floyd makes the play. Look at that San Antonio bench. You would have thought they won the NBA title. They came pouring out to tell Sleepy Floyd. What an unusual way to tell him happy birthday. Look at that, Rodman hawked Nick Anderson, and Robinson comes out to stop. O'Neal with the rebound, and he is fouled. That could have been the three-point play. Antoine Carr's 4th foul, and Willie Anderson out to say something to Shaq, and that was something a bit more serious than having a nice birthday.
Yeah, and Shaq said, "Get out of my face," and he quickly vanished. So the big fella was serious. He's upset because his team had the lead when he got in foul trouble, had to sit down, and the complexion of the game changed, and they end up losers when it appeared that they might be winners this afternoon.
They might be giving Shaq another free throw here. Dennis Rodman on the free throw line was indicating one as if that was a play, but it was a distraction. And I believe Mike Mathis is going to give Shaq they're going to give him another free throw. Yeah, Rodman, well, they have all kinds of tricks on the line. You try to move as a man shooting just to take perhaps some of his concentration away.
Luke is saying, look, we're almost out of here, guys. Let's just get out. We got 29 seconds. We're going to get the ball back. If we can hold it for 24, they can't hurt us. Don't do anything crazy.
Rodman now able to say, all right, nothing wrong with this. He can do that. So Shaq, who'd been shooting well all day, misses two. Hardaway with a three-pointer. Rodman, they're going to call that goaltending.
Now, we said on Antoine Carr didn't have a chance to go in. Where's this ball going to come down? That was well in front of the rim.
107, 103. So at the very worst, if Robinson makes two free throws, and thinking in the Orlando terms, 2 threes could tie the game.
And that is why John Lucas was trying to tell his players, look, fellas, we had a 7-point lead, nothing crazy. Anything can happen in a short period of time in the NBA, and all he wants to do is get the game over with now that they have an advantage on the scoreboard.
35th point for David Robinson. Shaq O'Neal with 32. Rodman back in. This for a 6-point lead. Dennis Rodman at the end of the game, and San Antonio has now won 16 of their last 17 at home and pull into a tie for the moment with the Houston Rockets in the Midwest, rallying for a 111-103.